There she is. All right. Yes, sir, indeed. All right.
There we are.
Yes, indeed.
So we gonna wing it, or are we gonna?
Trying to figure out which light looks the best. Yes, indeed.
Well, both of our mics not working.
Is that much of a delay?
Yeah, that's okay. Um, let's go with Yeah, I mean we're gonna get into sports. Episode 3. So one thing I've been seeing online lately is people celebrating like being sober or giving up whatever their vice is, and like people
Right.
who are also sober or have also given up that vice, like clapping back, like that ain't nothing. You need to do this, and then you can talk about it. Like somebody said that to Chrissy Teigen, like, "Oh, I've been sober for 5." She's been sober for like a month or something like that,
Right.
and someone was like, "Oh, I've been sober for 5 years. You don't hear me talking about it." It's like, what?
That's ridiculous.
Stupid. Like, what are you doing?
All right,
He says being a
give
champ
me.
again. I can also crop that out if you want me to.
Okay, give me 20 seconds.
Yeah, go poop again. Right into the microphone. Nobody's on, right? Uh-oh. Somebody's on. I'm sorry. What's up? We'll be starting here in like 5 seconds. I'll mute it this time. That should have been better for your ear holes. All right, you ready?
Bless you, bless you. Said you can crop that out for me.
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Sweet stuff. All right. These freaking bags, man.
Okay, there we go. And... All right, ready? So the theme song is gonna play. So that's why I'm waiting for it to end before I talk. And then,
Okay.
yeah, we'll go from there. Probably talk about next week being our first sports episode. So,
Indeed.
my back is sore. Thank you for tapping into some Untapped Keg, episode 43. I'm one of your hosts, RJ Zimmerman, here with my brother-in-law, Monte Ball. How you doing, big fella? Long time no see.
I'm doing good, man. Doing good, and excited, man. Excited for all the stuff we got lined up. I think it's gonna be good, man. I'm looking forward to sharing it with the audience here. How you doing?
Pretty good. We're just making baby steps, like one step at a time. So we went to live streaming a couple episodes ago. Last week it was a little bit more trying to figure out how to do it from each other's houses, so we don't have to travel early on a Sunday morning. Now we are uh, looking at setting up
Right.
a second feed so that we can do our sports podcast next week. We're looking at for our first week of that. We're gonna have a We have been using a podcasting host site that really specializes in music, so we're gonna switch to a different one that focuses on podcasts. Nothing's gonna change. Everything's gonna be the same as far as how you find us, Untapped Tag, on all podcast services. We actually had to do that ourselves. So like
Mhm.
that was a lot of work actually that I wasn't expecting. Was trying to get all the onto all the podcast services. I had to look them all up manually, figure out what their submission structure is because of, like I said, the podcast hosting site we went with was not ideal for what we were doing. So hopefully this new one will help us out a little bit. Um, and then yeah, the new podcasting site will let us start our second channel so that people can come here when they're looking for kind of like the main show, or they can just go to the sports one if they want to find the Untapped Cake Sports. So, with that being said, today's going to be like most of the other shows. We'll be talking about sports and video games, and Mott's has been streaming like crazy this week. Just trying to get his home internet figured out so that he can do it from there.
I
Um,
know, man. I know. I don't know what's been going on. I mean, we plan on, I'm gonna switch over, and get that bad boy straightened out. But yeah, streaming, man. Streaming is fun. It's entertaining. It's it brings that extra edge to it. You know what I mean? Because now you got some people watching you. What you do, what you say is going to be on the Twitch account. So all stuff I like. But it's we got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're really excited. This is all new to us, like we like to say, we're just a couple amateurs trying to figure it out one thing at a time. I feel like we're starting to figure it out a little bit better. Like the more we use OBS, the easier it is for us to get things
Mhm.
figured out and transition. Hopefully, we can start using Photoshop and make our own array so it'll look a little spiffier than this. figure something out there. Maybe a couple different pictures. We took some pictures that are actually of us for the podcast, which we have never done before. Before we just took like two random pictures that I think they show us at a driving range on a random Saturday, like a couple
Yeah.
of years ago, before we both put on our weight. So
Right. Right, man. That COVID.
that COVID
COVID
30, man, that
19.
COVID 30 came in.
Yeah, it's been something, man. But yeah, man. I kind of want to jump right into it about what you mentioned pre-recording. Um, about Tegan, or excuse me, Chrissy Teigen, yeah. And giving some shout outs to
Sober
some people.
shaming,
Yeah,
right? Like, what is that? But let's give some shout outs to people who are going sober.
yeah, man. Anthony Hopkins, huge shout out to Anthony Hopkins. I think it was 45 or 46 years.
Yep,
That's remarkable. I actually didn't even have any clue that Anthony Hopkins was in recovery. Huge fan of Anthony Hopkins,
same.
movies wise, but now obviously understanding and looking forward to learning more about his life. That's some pretty cool stuff. I mean, obviously, for those who don't know who Anthony Hopkins is Silence of the Lambs,
Hannibal
um,
Lecter. I think when
Hannibal
people
Lecter.
think of Hannibal Lecter, they think of Anthony Hopkins still, even though I think of Mads Mikkelsen. Believe it or
No,
not.
see, I think of Anthony Hopkins for sure. So huge shout out to him, of course, because that's some pretty cool stuff. Um, and there's somebody else too that I saw, but it'll come later in the episode. But I really wanted to get into what you mentioned, RJ, earlier about Chrissy Teigen, and some sober shaming. I mean, I don't
And
understand that. I do
yeah,
not understand that.
so for people who don't know, Chrissy Teigen posted that she was like a month sober, I think, on
Yeah,
Twitter, and somebody came back and said, "Oh, I've been sober for 5 years. You don't hear me talking about it." Well, first off, like you're using somebody else's platform to show that you've been sober for 5 years. Like, congratulations, 5 years is not a short amount of time. You don't have to
right.
drown somebody for being sober for a month and being proud of it. Like, listen, we all start somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Why are
that's
we? I saw another one where a person said, I haven't had a cigarette for a month. Woohoo. And then a person came back and said, well, you got to go 2 years without it because you're going to go back to it. When you go back to it, then you start again. It's like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing as people? Is that really like there's trolling for fun? There's trolling to be a
yeah,
d-bag. Like, there's trolling to be actually mean and be just not a good person. Like, there's those
right.
different levels of trolling, and those, if you're trying to troll to be funny like that, you're not funny. Like,
No,
I
no.
enjoy I enjoy a good troll. Like, I troll you all the time, right? And you troll me right back. And
Hmm.
but we have a good relationship. Like, we know. Like,
Right,
you can't
right.
talk to random people and be like, "Oh, really? You've only been sober for a month. That's no big deal. You're gonna go back to it because you are a POS, basically." It's like, if you're joking, nobody knows that because nobody knows your tone. The person doesn't know who you are. You just make everybody feel like crap. Like, come on, let's put some positivity out in the world.
Exactly. Yep. I think that just speaks volumes about social media today. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, for many people out there, that's just like they said in Batman, about the Joker, just want to watch the world burn. And now people have the ability to speak at individuals on social media. And long story short, it's social media in the wrong hands be a terrible disaster. And unfortunately, that's what we're seeing, and especially seeing with that situation right there, because I don't understand why you would put that tone towards somebody who is just trying to celebrate, a new chapter in their life. I mean, to me, it sounds like that individual who responded is not getting the attention that they want for being 5 years sober. But it's just unfortunate that we even have to speak about it because you would never think that people would be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm trying to find the tweet. I can't find it.
Oh, you're fine. You're good. You're
And
good. That's what I'm.
it's
Yeah, you got to
like,
find that because that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't really, go out and announce, when my sobriety date is, because honest to God, I forgot exactly what day it was, but I know sometime in December. I know it's, within like the 7 day window that my oldest son was born. Um, I know it was right before I started where I work now. So that's kind of how I figure out how many years it is. But like some people, they don't care about the time, and then some people, it's a big deal, and that's
Mm.
fine. However you approach it is how you approach it. Um, Gosh darn it. Oh, Elton John, who's been sober for 25 years, by the way, posted on, I think it's 25 years. He posted on social media as well that he has maintained his sobriety, and he said if it wasn't for virtual AA meetings during the lockdowns, that there's no way he would have made it. That there were so
Mm.
many times he was almost
Wow.
gonna break, and that the virtual meeting saved him. So, shout out to AA as well, continuing to hold it down for, the anybody who needs to talk, anybody who needs to just sit there and listen and get strength from other people. There are ways.
Mm.
That's why we started this podcast, to let people
Yeah.
know, like, you're not alone, and it is not easy. There are times when it's easier than others. There are times when it's really, really difficult. Um, but like, I know some people like NA beer. I do not like NA beer. I like the taste of beer. I always like the taste of beer, but when it comes to NA, it's just not a good flavored beer, and it's usually skunky because it's old. So it's like, my dad, who's been sober for, I don't know, 27 years, probably 28 years, closing in on 30, he loves NA beer. And he tried that new, I think it's like Bud Light Zero or Bud Zero or something like that.
Yeah.
And he said it actually tastes really, really good. He's like, this is the first beer that I love the flavor of, and then it has zero, so it is literally 0% alcohol. So you can have it
Wow.
like a soda, legally.
Are you
So
serious?
yeah,
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Huge shout out to Bud Light for that because that's pretty cool stuff. Just having the the wherewithal in a sense to produce that and the just being mindful of the fact that there are individuals out there who may have actually enjoyed the taste of beer but know that they can't have alcohol. So just being mindful. That's pretty cool. To see large corporations like that trying to tap into every single demographic. Obviously, Bud Light, their main demographic are people who drink, but they obviously wanted to put something out there for those who can't drink. So that's pretty cool stuff, actually. That's pretty awesome. I did not know about that about Elton John either. That, that he mentioned that about this pandemic.
yeah. I was perusing Reddit. Yeah, I said
Perusing.
perusing. I'm here for you, Mods. I'm here for you in
Perusing.
Scrabble. Trying to help you win Scrabble because I know you need the help. Um,
All the help, man. I'll take all the help.
now that you know facetious, like you're gonna win every time. Um,
I've said that word so many times now. It's
it's
been
a
like my
good
word of the
word.
week.
It's a good
You
word.
know what
I
my
I like to
favorite
throw
word
it out
is?
there. Megal
My favorite.
Magnanimous, magnanimity.
I think I've heard that before. That has something to do with magnetism.
No, magnanimous means like you're selfless, like a selfless act.
Learn something new every day. No, my favorite word is specificity. I like saying it.
Interesting, because that's an easy one to
Specificity.
screw up too. Like ma magnanimous, and then I cannot think of magnanimity. Yeah, I can't even say it. Like, you know,
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but that's good, man. I mean, we gave our shout outs. Was definitely want to shame that person who shamed Chrissy
well,
Teigen.
I mean,
That's
let's not even
super
shame it. Let's
uncalled
just
for.
like help them turn it. Like,
It's
congratulations. Like
true.
that
It's
five
true.
years was awesome. You don't have to, uh, put somebody down to get the
Right.
recognition you're looking for. Like it's right
Right.
here if you want it. That's just like, it goes back to gatekeeping, right? Like I heard this earlier in the year actually. Well, I heard it before then, but I really took it to heart and learned some other, I guess, stuff around it that really is gatekeeping, like keeping people from getting into the gate of certain things. So like you find out a woman is a fan of sports and you start
Mm.
asking her to name like five players on like her favorite sports team,
Uh,
like name five different sports teams in that sport. That's gatekeeping and that's stupid. All right. Like sit
it's
there,
like gaslighting.
ask them their, like, yeah, similar. So like, you know, congratulations, who's your favorite team? Oh, is it because of that person or like is it because of whatever? Like why are they your favorite team? Not like, oh,
Right.
name me five players because I don't believe you. Like who cares? Who cares if they're
Right.
making something up? Like
That's
just
a good point,
engage in
man.
a healthy conversation, right?
It's a good
Like
point. There's a lot of men out there that do that.
yeah, like video games. You say your favorite game of all time is The Last of Us. Oh, so the third dog tag on this one map, when you find it, did you read the note that was next to that? Because, man, that was the best thing. What note? Oh, I guess you're not a real fan then. Like,
Exactly.
seriously, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we gatekeeping sobriety? Like, that's a one thing that you really don't want to gatekeep because you want to accept everybody with open arms. Like, come here, I'm going to give you a hug. Like, that's awesome. Like, we're in the same boat.
Absolutely. Right. You want to create that community. You want to create more social connections. Connections with those who are sober. I mean, yeah. So I don't. You really threw me in for a loop on that one, man, because I don't understand why someone would say that. But then again, that's a troll. I'm not supposed to understand. Internet trolls. That's a way different mindset that I'm not involved in. But long story short, Chrissy Teigen, that is remarkable. Here from Untapped K, we congratulate you, Sir Elton John. Thank you for sharing your story as well. Anthony Hopkins, kudos to you, man, on 40 something years, 45, 46 years. That is pretty crazy in a good way. Um, and then we'll keep going at this
And
and keep giving shout outs where shout outs are due.
I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. I think we should say it again because it's perfect time. Anybody who has maintained their sobriety during these lockdowns during the year of 2020, yeah,
Right?
congratulations, amazing.
Right?
Anybody who
Absolutely.
has started during the lockdowns, like big round of applause. Like whether
Yeah,
you're a couple weeks, whether you're, a couple months, like that is incredible. That
it is.
is, man, that's the fact that you have the courage to start it and are maintaining it, whether it be for a week, whether it be for a month, couple months, like that is amazing. Also, seeing as how I said 2020, Happy New Year, everybody. I can't believe I didn't start the show off that way. I'm a terrible host. I'm going to get it. Next year, first podcast of the year, I'm going to get it. This year, I did it. Happy New
Said
Year.
next year.
F off 2020. Like
Mm,
2021, we got some hope. We got some light at the end of the tunnel.
right?
Um, there's still obviously a lot of stressors out there. It's going to be, 6 months, but at least there's hope. At least there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Uh, Recapping on 2020. Obviously, there's nothing more we need to say about it. We've beat that dead horse for sure, and obviously everyone not oblivious to how crappy 2020 was. Um, but we're fortunate to have started this podcast 20 to help others. We have some listeners that we're fortunate to have. Some people who are in recovery who are listening to us, which we're extremely fortunate to have them, of course, listening to us. But F off 2020, absolutely. In 2021, I was definitely looking forward to a better year, looking forward to more people who are tuning in, more people reaching out to us asking for help, more people wanting advice from us, etc., of how to keep yourself going. Absolutely. That's why we're here. That's why we do this. So 2021 is going to be a good year.
You know what? Thank you, video games, for keeping me sane because I lost just about every single one of my hobbies. But This podcast and video games are really what saved me. So I picked up a book, trolled my
Speaking
brother
of
a
video
little bit.
games,
Speaking of trolling about it,
I think we had a bet, right?
I'm waiting on that Cash App.
I know. I gotta. So
Did you even make it 3 hours into the game?
probably not yet. So I bet RJ that I'll beat God of War for January 1.
I'm
That
so
obviously didn't happen.
frustrated. I'm so frustrated because that game is so good and you know it. You can feel it. You're like,
It is.
as I'm
It is.
unlocking stuff,
It is.
as I'm getting further, like I can see that this is gonna get good. I thought it was gonna be the same old thing. Like I was gonna have everything at the start. No, you never have everything at the start.
It's a good game. I'll tell you that it's good.
Just
I'm
wait.
intrigued.
You are gonna get as emotional or more so than you did during Last of Us. I'm telling you right
No,
now. I'm telling you right
there's no.
now. Dude, I am gonna replay this game.
Okay.
I'm gonna replay it. I will beat it before you, and it's it's so good. It's so good. I'm excited
Okay.
to
I
beat that game
mean,
again.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. But I don't. I believe you about it being good. But Last of Us, man. The Last of Us.
I know I'm setting expectations there,
Whew,
and when you
whew.
set expectations, sometimes it's a downfall, right? Like if your
Right.
expectations gets too high, like Wonder Woman 1984, which we're gonna have a watch party to watch because Mons is such a huge fan of that movie. Like he's like, dude, we gotta throw a hot mic party. Everybody needs to see this
I
movie. So we're gonna
no.
have a watch along
Stop.
for Wonder Woman 1984. I haven't seen it
No.
yet, so I don't know. But Mons
Spe-
Mons said that this is the greatest superhero movie
oh my
since The
God.
Dark Knight Rises.
Well, I'm about to log off because I most definitely did not say that. I watched the first. You guys can check my Twitter account
Speaking
about
of
4 days
trolling,
ago, 5 days ago. You're right. Wonder Woman 1984. Let me back up here for a second. The first Wonder Woman, mind you, same director, same writers, was an amazing movie. It was a really good movie. It was a really good plot. It was a really flow story. It was really good conflict. It was really good resolution. It was really great, heroism. I mean, it was wonderful. Every single part that you want in the story was in there, and it was great. I liked the villain. I liked how she defeated the villain. It was good. So obviously there was hype for Wonder Woman 1984.
there was because honestly, the setting, the '80s,
I
man.
don't know what I I don't know what happened, man. I watched the first 45 minutes, and I'm not going to throw out any spoilers here, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and after 45 minutes, I turned it off. Um, and because I couldn't I couldn't get over the it was cheesy, corny. The one-liners were just out of place.
Were they out
The
of place for
CGI
you?
was overkill, man. Overkill with the 80s. And again, I'm not going to throw out any spoilers, but um, they make sure that you know they're in the 80s, which is fine at the start,
Because you're a
but
maniac,
it just
maniac.
right, they just keep hitting you in the face with it, and I'm just like, my gosh, it's almost like more over the top than like Back to the Future. So it's it's just
Moreover,
not
when was Back to the
not a good
Future
movie.
over the top?
No, I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying like Back to the Future. You can clearly tell it was in the 80s, but
Oh, so you're saying any movie made in the '80s, it was more over the top than that movie, is what you're saying.
yeah, 1984 was more over the top than actual movies made in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, because that's they're trying to play it up, but no,
I know, but it was
I get what
over,
you're saying. I
yeah,
get what you're saying.
over sensationalized, and I'm like, okay, I
You're not
get
gonna
it.
play up like the culture you're in right now because you don't understand it, right? But I
So
get
long
it.
story short, I heard from others too in my family who watched the entire movie, and same. It was consensus. It was
They're the ones who said that we
not
should
a
have
good
a
movie.
watch party because
Not
you would
a,
be very entertaining during said watch party.
I'm gonna give it my take right now on Wonder Woman 1984. Do not watch it. If you do, I would love to hear your thoughts. Email us, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Instagram,
We'll put out a
whatever,
poll.
and let me
We'll
know your
keep it open
thoughts.
for 7 days, and we'll say, is Wonder Woman 1984 a good movie? Yes or no?
You just gotta go read the
We'll do
reviews. And
three. We'll do yes, no, mediocre.
the movie's so bad, man. Some people are saying it's the worst movie they've ever watched. Ever.
On a site that I generally trust their movie reviews, they've let me down a little bit this year. There's been a few movies I've watched. I'm like, how did they give it that score? Do you want to guess what they gave Wonder Woman 1984?
Who's that? Talking about Rotten Tomatoes?
No, no, no. It's IGN. So
Oh,
guess what they
seven
gave in
percent
1984.
7%.
Well, they have a 1 through 10 scoring system.
Oh, 3.
They gave it an 8.
No, they did not. No, they
Yes,
did
they
not.
did. Look it up.
No, they did not. I'm looking it up right now,
And
actually,
then
on my
and
phone.
then I heard people
No, they
talking
did not.
about it, and a lot of people are saying kind of the same thing you are. Apparently, it does get a little bit better, but people did say like it's definitely not nowhere near captures the magic of the original. So I am excited for. Um, I told
They
you.
gave it a
I mean,
no.
different people have different tastes. Some people can look through a lot of
Absolutely
D's, right? Um,
true.
but
I'm about to Rotten Tomatoes it.
what was I gonna say now? Oh,
Tomatoes gave it a 60%, which is higher than it
than
was
you
before.
expected. Is
Boy, oh
that
boy.
critic or users? What do the users give it?
So the tomato meter of 354 total counts, 60% audience score out of 2,300. Verified ratings at a 74%.
So maybe you should finish it, is what I'm hearing.
I
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I The more I'm seeing about it, and the more I'm seeing like stuff surrounding it, like plot synopsis, I'm kind of excited
yeah,
to see Zack Snyder's final vision of Justice League because apparently how the first half of that story was building up, the second half of the movie is completely different from the original script that they shot like 80% of.
you talking about the Justice League
Yeah,
original, the
yep,
first one.
yep.
I wasn't a
So
fan of
like
it.
the second half of that movie is all reshoots that Joss Whedon did, and he completely changed the script. So Zack Snyder's like what he was supposed to make was supposed to make Batman versus Superman is the plot a little bit better. And then
I love Batman vs Superman.
you love Batman versus Superman? You're the
Love it,
only
man.
person in the world who loves it.
Love
Um,
it.
no, that's a lie. Hey, Danimal Yogurt,
Right?
shout
I
out
was
to
just gonna
you
say.
because you are the number one Batman versus Superman fan. That movie is just fine with a capital F.
It's a
Um,
good movie.
no.
Yeah.
You want to talk about cheese that you have to look past.
That movie's not
Oh,
cheesy.
when's the last time you watched it?
I mean, what's his name? What's the guy's name who played
Clark
Jesse
Kent.
Eisenberg?
Oh,
Jesse
yeah.
Eisenberg.
Yeah, he plays
He's
Lex
got a
Luthor.
few. He's got a few cheesy lines, but that's about it.
Bro, you no.
I'll
No.
watch it again. I'll watch it again. Well,
You're
see,
looking
I'm a huge Hans Zimmer fan, and I think Hans Zimmer made that movie. Let me take a step back. I love how his movie, how excuse me, how his music complements the movie. There we go.
I don't know if he did he do the soundtrack for Batman vs Superman?
Yep.
Huh.
Beautiful Lie was what the original soundtrack is called.
Interesting. I would
Yep.
not have guessed that. Okay. So yes, I'm kind of interested like with that HBO Max to see what Justice League the Snyder cut looks like because it's gonna be a completely different movie. And then are they gonna move forward with the Justice League that Joss Whedon made originally? Or are they gonna go back with what Zack Snyder is doing right now? I don't know, but apparently that film set for the Justice League after Whedon took over was extremely toxic, and the cyborg actor, will not work with DC ever again
Yeah.
because of it. Like that's super sad.
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah.
Did he explain why?
Um, yeah, he did. I think
Other
two different
than
ones, and then there were multiple actors on that set that said that backed him up and said yes, that was it was not a fun set to work on. It was one of the worst sets they've ever worked on, and they saw him take a lot more abuse than a lot of the other people on set were taking. But um, yeah, so this actually goes back to a question my brother asked a couple weeks ago with HBO Max. Uh,
Cyborg.
for like the next
Mhm.
what year, 2 years, they're gonna release theater movies day and date on HBO Max, and
Correct.
is that gonna save the platform of HBO Max? I think HBO Max is gonna be just fine when they start coming up with their original content. When their series start to come out, there's a lot. HBO always has really good series, and this is the only way to watch HBO Go now. So I think people are just waiting for the new stuff before they subscribe. And then two,
Right.
how much is that going to hurt movie theaters with this plan?
Yeah, that was my biggest thing. I'm huge into movies, huge into
I
movies,
mean,
and
you can
obviously I
still
love
go to
going
the
to
movie
movie
theater and
theaters.
watch it.
True, but I was reading a few. Oh, actually, it was just one. I can't remember which chain it was of movie theaters,
AMC probably.
but pretty much just yeah, the CEO or something came out with a statement in a very politically correct way, bashed Hollywood and HBO Max for that because obviously they're going to lose on money. You know, people aren't going to want to go. Obviously, with COVID too, people aren't want to go out in to a movie theater and watch a movie in a movie theater if they can just get a subscription with HBO Max and chill at their house and watch everything they want to watch. That's going to come out. So it is unfortunate for the movie theaters, but I think we might be getting into the era where movie theaters are on their way out.
I don't know.
Fortunately,
Like a lot of movies, like Tenet, benefit from being in the movie theater, right? Any Christopher Nolan movie, you gotta see that in the movie theater because the way that he mixes sound, I know, like sometimes he does
for like a Michael Bay,
yeah, yep. The effects get a little too loud compared to the conversation that's going on with a lot of Nolan films, but like that listening to that soundtrack and how it builds, like, Interstellar, you can watch that movie again all you want, but watching that in the movie theater was special, right? Um
is
Inception,
not my favorite. No,
it's not your favorite watching that movie in the movie theater?
no. I said if not, like it is my favorite. Sorry, I might have said that wrong, but Interstellar is my all time like favorite movie. It's Pursuit of Happiness, Interstellar, depending on my mood. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
So like movie theaters are going to have to it's going to be one business that post COVID they're really going to have to figure out how they can make the most money while having the least amount of people in the theater because you're not going to be able to pack theaters anymore because people aren't going to be comfortable with it. So, do you downsize your theaters a little bit,
Oh,
downsize the
right.
screen, push the seats forward, and to maximize the viewing? That was one of my favorite things to do was going to a huge screen theater with those big bucket seats, the big recliners, because you really don't feel like you're crunched in there, but just watching the movie. And then, you're gonna have to upgrade your food. Like the
Yeah,
food's fine, but it needs to be like great. You need to have when people go there, they want to eat that food. It's
has
not
to be,
I'm gonna go see a movie and you know what?
has to be.
I'll probably get some food while I'm there. Food should be one of the things that they want to go for. Like I'm gonna go get some of this food and I guess I'll watch a movie while I'm there. I know that that's what you do
Yep.
already, but you and your sister.
Just gonna say that absolutely, and it's the point. I like the point
But
that
if
you
they
made because it's
upgrade it
very
a little
true.
bit,
True. But what you mentioned about the smaller screens and kind of pushing the seats closer, that reminds me a lot of here in Madison, East Town Mall, that theater. What is that one called again?
Is it the Brew House?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The Brewhouse Theater or whatever it is in East Town Mall. Yeah. It's smaller theater. It's kind of like has an adult like feel to it. Kind of like a
Definitely, definitely.
don't bring your kids vibe. And yeah, you're looking at maybe 20 seats, maybe 20 seats in each auditorium, and more of like that intimate vibe in a sense. And that's most likely what I think a lot of these theaters are going to have to adopt.
Yeah, you're still gonna have to have people spread out though too. Like
That's
maybe have
true.
like 4 or 5 seats kind of
Oof,
somewhat close, but then you have 4 or 5 seats
tough.
like a little bit further up ahead. Like that's the thing,
Yeah,
because you want to keep groups kind of together. That is the thing.
right.
So like if it's family members, you don't have to like be super spread out. But um, yeah,
That's true.
it's gonna be
That's
interesting to see
whew.
how movie theaters adapt to survive. So
Mhm. I'm glad I am not in the position to make that decision because that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure right now to figure out. For one, obviously those who are CEOs or the decision makers of movie theaters are extremely passionate about movie theaters. So, and that pressure of trying to keep your passion alive, but also and that pressure of trying to keep employees employed. It is a huge stressor as well because obviously employees got families, etc. So I want for movie theaters to survive because I'm a huge movie theater fan. Um, I love movie theaters. I love the food. Love them bringing the food. I love watching a good movie, etc. So I hope they figure it out. I really really do.
me too. Yeah, I also just I absolutely love going to the movie theater. There's nothing like it. Especially the first week that a movie's out. Anything sci-fi. I love going and watching a sci-fi movie. I remember seeing District 9 for the first time on the Ultra Screen Theater in Madison. And
District 9 is a really good movie, and I will give you props on that because I would have never, ever, ever stumbled across that movie if you did not mention it. And I truly mean that. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'll watch this movie. And I was like, oh, this is a beautiful movie, man. I was like, that is a real, and I'm sad that they have not come out with a sequel. Sorry to cut you off, man, but I
no,
just
that's okay.
had to give you your props on that because that's a really really good sci-fi movie. I was about to swear right there. It's that good.
Yeah, I remember seeing previews for it and I was interested in it. And then all of a sudden this movie comes out and it was showing on the Ultra Screen. It's like, all right, I guess we could go see it. Um, and then we go watch it, and it's like I was blown away with how good it was because I love sci-fi. It's my favorite. It's my favorite genre. It really brings out the imagination, makes things creative, and yeah, I just that's yeah,
Are
that
you
movie was great.
what's his name again? What's that actor's name again? Because I know that you're a
Charlton
huge fan of
Copley,
him of his. Okay. Yeah, he's a savage, man. I I'm actually gonna I think I'm gonna watch that movie later today.
right? Right. It's been a while. So I mean, Neil Blomkamp has had a couple different movies since then, but none of them they've been fine with a capital F. None of them are as good as District 9. He's had Elysium with Matt Damon, and then he had Chappie. Chappie with,
That's right.
gosh darn it, why can I not think of the guy's name? The dude is an absolute savage of an actor. Oh my goodness. He's in Slumdog Millionaire. Oh, what's his name? What's his name?
Ah,
Anyway,
um, here I'll pull it up.
it's just an
That's gonna,
okay
bother me.
movie. So anyway,
Is
uh,
it the Dev Patel?
Dev Patel, that's him. Yes, yes. So
Nice, nice.
I highly recommend watching District 9 if you haven't seen it. One of the best sci-fi movies of the past decade. So it's been over 10 years that that movie's been out, but um, I don't even know if it's been remastered in 4K yet. Just waiting. Anyway, moving from movies. All right,
I'll keep going.
I know. Um, let's talk about that game 2 nights ago. The Ohio State Clemson game.
2 nights ago already.
That was 2 nights ago. Yesterday, all you did was sleep. So
That's right.
I
That's right.
understand.
That's right. Clemson. Oh yeah, I'm ready to go on
I'm
this one.
I'm just setting you up. I'm sitting
I'm
back.
ready to go. Yep, you threw that alley oop for me, perfect, and I'm slam dunking that. That I tweeted it out. That has got to be the amount of crow that Dabo Sweeney is probably still eating right now is is imaginable. So just to give you guys some context here, Dabo Sweeney, the head coach for Clemson. First off, he's an a-hole d-bag. And I say this, I don't use those words lightly. I don't talk about people that way. But when we have a head coach who is the leader of a top program in all of NCAA sports, you have to hold yourself to a level of leadership. Of you have young men and women looking up to you, and the things that he says, the things that come out of his mouth, you would not expect that to come out of a head coach of a top program's mouth. In comparison, Nick Saban for Alabama, he holds himself to a standard that head coaches, for one, should. And then also, if you're of a top program, head coach of a top program, you have to hold yourself to an even higher standard. So, Ebo Sweeney, in the coaches poll of NCAA, ranked Ohio State. Now, Ohio State was ranked third. I'm not sure where they're at now. I don't know. But he ranked them 11th, you guys, on purpose. He did it on purpose. Ohio State is not ranked, should not have been ranked 11th in the coaches poll. Well, from him. He ranked them 11th. So fast forward to 2 nights ago, Abo Sweeney having to face the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State Buckeyes smacked them, and I
And it
loved
didn't
every
look
bit
like
of
it
it
was
for
going to
two
be at
reasons.
first either, because Clemson went up
Right.
7-0. Ohio State comes down, answers. Clemson goes up 14-7. Ohio State comes down and
Mhm.
answers. So it looks like it's going to be a back and forth game all night.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I said I loved it for two reasons. One, I'm a huge Big Ten football fan. Obviously, I'm not an Ohio State fan, but I'm an Ohio State fan if they're representing the Big Ten in the playoffs. So I was rooting for Ohio State 2 nights ago against Clemson, and I am now rooting for Ohio State against Alabama on the 11th, I believe. Um, for two, any team that beats Dabo Sweeney, I congratulate because I'm not a fan of him. He's cancerous to the game. He's cancerous to the young men who are on that team because he's not understanding that you're not just a coach, you're also a teacher too. Because to some of those men, fortunately, to some of those men, you are the only father figure in their life. And this is how you're talking in the media. This is how you're talking about other teams. This is how you're calling out other teams and other players for having games canceled because of COVID, but you're saying that they were afraid to
Of
play.
you.
That
Yep.
they're
That's the
that
real
like
reason
what?
they canceled it. It wasn't because of
Come on,
safety. It wasn't because of health. It was because they were scared to play you.
like, come on. You can't. That's cancerous to the game. That is not what NCAA is all about. But long story short, I'm not a fan of Dabo Sweeney. I would love to see him get reprimanded of some sort. I don't know, push out. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but I'm glad that he lost. And I hope that he's still enjoying that crow that he's eating because you ranked them at 11th, and they showed you why they're not ranked 11th. Should not have been ranked 11th in your eyes. So kudos to you, Ohio State. I'm rooting for you big time right now against Alabama.
I still don't understand how Notre Dame, after they got smacked by Clemson in that title game, how Notre Dame got into the playoff. Like that,
I
that
agree.
to me, if it was a close game, like I get it, but they got smacked. And then they got
I agree.
smacked again against Alabama. Like Cincinnati got a bad deal, right? Coastal Carolina also got a bad deal. They went undefeated. Coastal Carolina had a lot of close games, but Cincinnati blew pretty much everybody out. Um, they might have had one
Absolutely.
close game,
So
but
right? I mean Notre Dame is all hype. Um, all hype.
that's
Once
all they ever are.
when
That's
they
all
beat
they ever
Clemson.
are.
Yep, that is very true, actually, which I think a lot of times is why they don't ever want to join a conference. Um, so Notre Dame beat Clemson, I think, week six. I think week six of the regular season. That's where their hype came from. Obviously Clemson being the reigning champs, right? I'm saying that correctly. I think, yeah, Clemson won last year. They beat Clemson week six. So, okay, we got some new kids on the block. So Notre Dame jumps up in the ranks. Notre Dame is that team, allegedly. Notre Dame then loses to Clemson in a close game. I think it was in the championship, correct?
Yes, the
Right,
ACC
right.
championship.
ACC championship, correct. Lose to Notre Dame, or excuse me, lose to Clemson. Sorry, but long story short, I don't want to get too long winded on that because you already stated it. Notre Dame's all hype, all hype. I think Cincinnati got a really, really bad, just they most definitely should have gotten more respect than they got because they blew a lot of teams out of the water, and I would have loved to see them in, but unfortunately they weren't.
I am, yeah, the fact that they ran away with that like they did, and it was after Fields took a cheap shot and there was a targeting penalty, and that was classic
Yeah,
targeting too. Like it wasn't like one of those, ha ha, Clinton Dix running back for a catch and like hitting helmet to helmet because players when they run, their heads are at different angles. Like this dude launched with his helmet down into the kidney of Fields as he was running. Like it was textbook what the hits you want out of the game for player safety. Like
and people
we
don't
still want to
understand.
see hard hits, right? We still want to like,
Right,
and I'm saying that like we want them clean so that everybody's healthy. We don't want to see hard hits that
right,
hurt people. Um, those are
exactly.
the kind of hits that we want out of the game for sure. That everybody wants out of the game.
Yeah, I think you said it exactly right. Where it's people don't understand because I saw it all over Twitter that what he got ejected for this hit, and people don't understand is it's not for the safety of the 50% of it is for the safety of the ball carrier, but the other 50% is for the tackler. He
Yeah.
could have really damaged his spine if you look at it again. His helmet
Look
went
at the hit
straight.
that
There
ended Ryan Shazier's career. It was
you
very
go.
similar. Or
There you
the
go.
hit that ended Nick Collins' career also. Like people don't
Yeah.
remember that one. He was tackling Cam Newton. His helmet was up. I think both Shazier and Collins's were up, but the way that they hit, their vertebrae got compacted. And Shazier, he's lucky to be
Yep.
walking again.
Crunches. Right.
Yeah.
It's
So, and I mean, they
yeah,
were both
man.
clean. Like they weren't the dirty hits that you want out of the game either. Is the thing, but like those hits do hurt the defender as well. Like, yeah, sometimes more so. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's saying you're saying it perfectly, man. Where it's this is people need to understand it's for the safety of the players. For the safety of the players. Because then those who are complaining about those ejections are this some are the same people who are complaining about how there's not enough compensation with maybe health insurance or even other monetary values for NCAA athletes. It's like, well,
There's not enough
let's just make
money
sure.
in NCAA athletics, even though Tom Herman's getting $14 million to not coach a team for the next 2 years.
that's an entirely different podcast. We could talk forever on that, but I think we have to obviously protect athletes because they're student athletes. They're super young. I'm all in favor for that ejection because it's for the safety of. In that instance, in that example, is for the safety of the tackler.
Absolutely. And that goes back to like concussions. Like the NFL concussion protocol is so much more strict than the NCAA, and it makes no sense to me. You got kids whose brains are still
Right?
developing, and you're going to let
Mm-hmm.
them go back out on the field in must win games, which You can tell sometimes some guys have concussions and they go back out there, and it's ridiculous.
It's bad, man. It is bad, but oh man,
I would really
it'll
like to
it'll
see something across the board be done about concussions being a little bit more strict.
yeah.
It stinks watching your star player go out, right? It stinks because yeah, you just don't have the same anything. I don't know. Losing a star player in college is harder than a star player in the NFL, but you hate losing a star player either way. So, but concussions, obviously,
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
damages are just unreal. So,
The lingering effects, etc.
yeah,
So, I love the game of football, but it's a very unforgiving sport. It is, and many people know that now. Um, so, I think we most definitely tackled that bad boy. Dabo Sweeney, not a fan of you. I would love to see you get pushed out of Clemson,
I would love to see him
out of the
grow.
NCAA.
I mean, maybe take some time to grow, but what he said about Black Lives Matter, what he said about black people, what he said about, um, you know,
Come on, man.
things that
His
are
name is
happening in the world, like, dude should not have a pulpit. Dude should not have his words repeated. Like,
his name
he
is
is toxic.
Dabo. He, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. I just hope he's enjoying that
Can I just
crow.
say I don't know who tweeted it, but the funniest thing I saw about it was Dabo hasn't been this upset since Loving versus Virginia in the Supreme Court in 1967. I spit out my drink when I read that, and that was so funny. Anybody who doesn't know that, that was the case that legalized interracial marriage in the United States. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's close to my heart, so I know that very well. But yeah, that was the funniest tweet I saw of the night. So, and you know what? He
I
deserves to get roasted. The rest of his life,
does.
he deserves to
I
get roasted.
I have not seen, and we obviously are not fans of bullying in any form, cyberbullying, in-person
I am
bullying,
in this
however you want to
case.
put it. But you reap what you sow. I'll say that if you come with that demeanor, if you come with that tone, if you come with that amount of disrespect, and you end up not backing it up, you better prepare for a brutal atmosphere on social media. It's in my honest opinion, it's well deserved. Dabo, I hope you get pushed out of the NCAA. I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna make a shirt.
I Let's do it. Let's do it. That'll be our first
So,
merch. That'll be our first merch.
just
Just FKEG Sports. Goodbye, Dabo.
buy Dabo. I like it. I buy it.
So, all right. So let's obviously Alabama's in the playoff. Next week it will be before the playoff games. Will hope Friday night we'll record, get it posted. People can listen to it Saturday before playoff games, hopefully, or whenever. Um, yeah, that's kind of what we're hoping. Big day today in the NFL. There's like 8 playoff
Huge,
spots,
huge
maybe
day.
more. They're up for grabs. Like win. There's like 7 teams that if they win, they get in the playoffs. Uh, Packers win, they get the number 1 seed and a bye, which they could use. Obviously, some really sad news. Bakhtiari in
That's at the Bears,
practice.
right?
Yeah, they play the Bears today. In practice, Bakhtiari tears his ACL. Not a game. Not a game. Practice. Um, it's you sent me that and I didn't believe it. I
Oh,
I
I'm laughing
literally
at
told you
yeah.
I was looking it up. You're laughing at what I just did. I know. I I was looking it up and I didn't see anything, so I'm like, no, that's not true. There's no way that's true. Somebody's trolling. And you sent me the tweet and I was like, oh, wow. Why can't Wisconsin people have nice things, Bonds? Why can't we have nice things?
The last is that was like I said the last day of 2020,
Yeah.
and that's your guys' best lineman,
That's
arguably
not
top
just
three in the NFL.
no, he's top in the NFL. He's number 1 on Pro Football Focus.
The number one left tackle too, man. Ooh,
Against the
Rogers is
Bears,
right-handed.
Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack
Oh, I
usually
mean, it's the
lines
Bears.
up
You guys are
over the
fine.
right tackle. Um,
It's the Bears.
so
Ooh,
my
I forgot.
guess
Yeah,
is
Khalil Mack is there.
they'll move Elton Jenkins over there. Who's played everywhere this year. He played center. He's played both guards. He's a Pro Bowler. Like, dude has been a monster. Elton Jenkins. Like, props to him for being so adaptable. I don't know if they'll for sure do that. That's my guess on what they're gonna do. I don't know. Like, and then
Right.
ACL week 17. Chances are he's not gonna be ready for the first game next year either. Like the first few weeks, like probably the first month. Um,
You guys, you Packer fans, you guys cannot catch a break, man. You guys cannot catch a break.
Finally, somebody
That
sees it. We finally
that's
got a coach who
well,
cares, who can strategize, right? The defense is playing
right.
better. Like the defense is
They are.
playing a lot better. Now you get, the offense is rolling like up there with the Chiefs with like you can put Devontae Adams against Tyreek Hill, and then the rest is like sea
Yeah.
level players compared to the Chiefs. Everybody's talking up Patrick Mahomes, like rightly so. Patrick Mahomes makes these amazing throws,
He's got the greatest
dude.
weapons in all of football.
Yeah, maybe ever on one team. Like go back to the Broncos, the team you played on, and then go back to
Mm.
the Rams. And I think that's the only two teams that had this many
Oh,
weapons. The
about the
greatest
greatest
show
show on
on
turf.
turf.
Yeah.
May
Yep. Yeah.
I guess you could go back to
As
the
it
Colts
goes.
maybe with Reggie Wayne and Marvin
Seriously.
Harrison, but I don't think so. Travis
Still,
Travis Kelsey's so good. You go three running backs deep that are effective. You got
three.
Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and then you go with like Mecole Hardman and yeah, Patrick Mahomes is amazing. Patrick Mahomes is a baller.
Here's the thing: when you are game planning against that offense, just like you stated, okay, man to man, you most definitely can't be in. Tyreek Hill's gonna just blow past you. Kelsey is
You
going to blow
gotta.
past some linebackers and safeties. So you go in zone, right? Okay, zone, back off zone, giving a lot of cushion zone. Well, you still have to defend Patrick Mahomes' legs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His legs. He can still, which about 90% of the time, you don't really have to worry about that in a zone defense more in man because everyone's turning their backs. But still, that defense is just kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't in a sense. It's excuse my language, but it's that'll be very difficult to game plan against.
And yeah, I don't know. Just what and then you lose back. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
done.
man, I'm sorry
I'm done
about
with
that.
it.
I'm
Packers win, they get
I'm a
the
fan
number
of.
one seed. Like, you know what? I'm going into this game. I'm more optimistic than I have been all year, which means they're gonna lose, which is not the worst thing in the world. But if they got that number one seed, here's how I see it playing out. All right. And I thought about this last week at the end of the games, right? Packers get that number one seed. Dallas squeaks into the playoffs. They win the first round, right? They go and visit the Packers.
Cowboys.
Yeah. They go and visit the Packers. What happens? The Packers lose to Dallas in their first round of the freaking playoffs, and Mike McCarthy wins. And everybody's talking about how Mike McCarthy's a better coach than Matt LaFleur. And I would be so mad, but that's how it's going to happen because guess what? That's what happens to the Packers every year. Like Wisconsin, we need to be less racist so we can get some karma. Come on, Wisconsin. What the hell?
I tell you what, if that scenario plays out, and if you guys, I'm not, I've never been a Packers fan. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I like watching good football. You cannot ignore his play. If you guys lose to the Cowboys, if that scenario plays out, I will never speak. I will never mention the word Packers again. Ever. You're talking about a very beat up Dallas Cowboys team. Very.
Do you
I won't
remember?
speak.
Do you remember when Dallas was the number one seed and Green Bay went down there and won because of that pass to Jared Cook that everybody remembers, set up the field goal to win it? They did that backyard play.
The no catch with Bryant.
That was in Lambeau. Anyway, so the
Right?
Packers were very beat up that year. They go down there. Dallas is the number one seed, and they beat the Cowboys. And it ended up being close because Dom Capers loves prevent defense, and he doesn't know how to call anything else but prevent defense. And that's yeah. So
Are you being serious?
yeah, yeah,
He's
dude.
really he's really clicking Ask Madden on
Pretty
Madden.
much when the Packers would get up by like 21, Dom Capers would go prevent defense even if it was the third quarter.
so
That's
much
real.
so much cushion. There's like
Yeah.
a 10-yard gap. They could just literally
Yep.
run a hook route
So
and
every
boom,
single
first down.
time in the playoffs, the Packers would get a big lead, the defense would give it up every single time. So the Packers were up by like 21. Dallas comes back and ties it, but they left like 30 seconds on the clock. And in the huddle, Aaron Rodgers draws up a play. Jared Cook runs a long cross. Aaron Rodgers throws it, and Jared Cook barely gets his feet in, sets up like a 52-yard field goal that Crosby drills as the time's running out to beat the number one seed. When the Packers, I think, they were the last wild card to get in, so the sixth seed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be. That's how I could see it playing out, just because that's the karma that Packers fans have built, or not Packer fans, but
I mean,
Wisconsin
I mean, I
fans.
you talk about the Broncos, but there's really not much to talk about rebuilding season. But I'll give my honest opinion real quick. I give Elway one more year next season.
I think he's got 2 more
One more.
years. He's got two. You give him one,
I,
but he's got two.
the problem about all of this is, for one, all that Elway has done for the franchise was playing days, and then you put him as the GM. It's hard to push him out the door because of all that he's done for the program, and you cannot ignore, although he was handed Manning in a sense, but you can't ignore that they did win Super Bowl 50.
And we
But
made
I think
48, right?
yeah, my rookie year, yeah, and we made it to the Super Bowl my rookie year. But I think he might be I think he might be part owner too of the team. I think he might have a
An ownership
pretty
stake.
substantial stake in it. Yeah, I think so. Obviously, from Bolin passing away, I think obviously the Bolin family is still top owner in a sense, majority owner. But I think LA might have some ownership stake in there too. So it's like he's really gotten into bed with the Broncos. So it's like how do you get him out? How do you get him out? If next year doesn't, if they don't turn it around. I'm not fully sold on Drew Lock anymore. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't get me
I
wrong.
think I think he's got 2 more years, but so talking about today though, and having all these must-win games. Besides the Broncos, you get 2 more years. Broncos are in a hard spot getting rid of Elway. Um,
Right.
Today is turning out to be worst case scenario for the NFL and COVID. Have you seen this?
Saints. All I saw was the Saints. The Saints don't have a running back.
Yep. And then you have multiple coaches in the Browns organization. You have, and these are all must-win games that have to be played, and you have key players going on the COVID list, testing positive for COVID. Um, I tried to find the list, but I couldn't find it this morning. Um, of all the players that are out due to COVID, but like Alvin Kamara test positive. You got
Mm-hmm.
so that entire running back room is out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just these games matter, and you're going to be missing people because of COVID. What's going to happen next week when they really matter? Let's say the Saints lose and they get a Saturday game, Alvin Kamara
That's what I'm
can't
saying.
play. What do now that puts you in the position? It's not an injury. What are these teams going to do? I would think that teams are going to go into bubble mode to protect everybody, but
Right?
you're seeing all these people testing positive from pretty much Christmas.
That's
So,
that's that's what it's boiling down to because I'm not much into my mind sometimes will like to go to conspiracies, and I'm like, man, the timing on this is a little odd, in my opinion. Um, it was an inopportune moment for this stuff to happen. But then again, you cannot ignore the fact that we just got out of holiday season, meaning being around family, being around maybe some family friends, etc. So there's probably a strong correlation there from that to the mess that's going on right now in the NFL. So I mean, I hope the players, most importantly, hope the players obviously heal up. Um, Pray that there's no lingering effects with it, because again, it's just a game. It's just a game. I hope that they heal up from it, but I can only imagine frustration with the head coaches right now of those organizations because it is we are in the thick of it right now with the NFL. It's win or go home. It is win or go home. So it's gonna be interesting.
that is for sure. I mean, I tried looking for the list again. There's no list of just who went on the COVID list, but like the Steelers, they have to win for trying to think what they have to win for like the number 2 seed or whatever I think it is. Um so if they lose, they're not starting Ben Roethlisberger anyway, but they lost a couple defensive players and Eric Ebron to COVID. Uh, Buccaneers, they need to win for the 5 seed. Um, and if they win, they lost the defensive players, key defensive players, Shaq Barrett being one of them on COVID. So now we're at the point where games matter, and
Oh my
now
God, Shaq.
more players are going on. It's just this is the worst case scenario, and yeah, I don't know what teams are going to do in the playoffs, but if I was them, I'd be renting out entire hotels, catering in all the food. Nobody has contact with anybody except for in the facility, and everybody is masked up 24/7.
Yeah, see, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because you're talking playoffs. You're not talking doing that for 16 straight weeks. You're talking, you may just have to. You may, unfortunately, your team may just do it for a week
Yeah, up
if you
to
guys
5 weeks
lose.
probably.
Right, right, and
You
it's
get
and
a
it's worth
tax.
it. I think many players would not be opposed to that because they understand what's at stake. Understand everybody wants to make it to the ship. So
We go
I can
to the
guarantee
shit
guarantee you.
to the shit.
Actually, no, I'm not even going to guarantee that because you just don't know with Goodell. You don't know with him. I don't even know if he cares.
He doesn't.
Um,
He gets his money.
so right, he's somewhere with Kraft right now. I don't know. So
I was gonna say
story
something, but I held off. I held my tongue.
I'm pretty sure I can imagine what it was going to be. Probably something along the lines of a massage parlor, but I'll leave it at
Yep,
that.
yep.
Um,
So, anything
we,
else you want to touch on here before we take off?
no,
Look
oh
look
man, we
for
nailed them.
Untapped Keg Sports. I'm gonna try to get this edited because we got the software now. Uh, I think we're gonna try to edit some highlights, breakouts. Hit us up on social media, Untapped Keg everywhere. We're starting to be more um, of a presence on Instagram. Instagram's gonna be a really good place to catch up with us. Be able to see this glorious beard, better pictures,
Uh,
less
you to
shading,
see these bags again. I'm super
right?
tired this morning.
You slept all
I
day
gotta go get
yesterday.
some.
How are you tired?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I got a lot of great sleep.
Listen, kids
That's
are
the thing is
easy.
I don't.
Kids are easy, man.
I don't but the thing is, I don't know if I'm drinking enough water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
I don't
something
know.
I've
I gotta
been
get those.
trying to
I
get
gotta
on.
get those cucumbers. Those cucumbers. Come on, ladies, help me out. Help me out.
Oh, We didn't even get to the tweet that shocked the Big Ten world, right? Come on, don't look like that. You know what tweet we're talking about. It had a bunch of running
You
backs
talking
in the
about Brett
picture.
Bielema?
No,
They're talking about Coach B going to Illinois. Okay, I got you.
we talked about
Yes,
that already.
absolutely. That is correct. So
Is it real?
I think,
Number one.
I think yes, it's real because I think our running back room has lost a step. Now, some people are like, "Oh, it was COVID and all that stuff," which I understand that. I 110% understand that. But then again, at the end of the day, we're still just talking about strapping on a helmet and running that football at Wisconsin. That's something
Running
that we
that
don't.
ball.
Yeah, that's something we don't lose. That's our bread and butter. And I feel like we didn't have that this year. We do have young players, I understand, but that's why I tweeted it out because there's room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. So I tweeted out that I'm going to attend a good amount of training camp practices this upcoming season. But during the off season, I would like to, have some one-on-one sessions with the starting running back Jalen Berger, new kid on the block. Well, no longer new kid. He just finished his first season, but out of New Jersey. I want to get him through the same workout regimen that took me from an average running back to Heisman finalist, just getting some national attention.
If Russell
So
Wilson didn't steal it from you.
yeah, I most definitely would have been the Heisman.
We're gonna plant that joke into the ground.
Yeah.
Would have been a
If
national
Russell didn't,
championship if JJ Watt didn't wasn't selfish and left early.
there's some truth to all of that. Not saying JJ's selfish. Made a decision for himself that obviously has worked out extremely well for him. But yeah, Russell was stealing some votes for
You'd
me.
have a
And
Super Bowl right now, JJ, if you waited a year, and a national
where do you think he would
championship.
have gone? Where do you
I
think he
don't
would have
know.
gone?
I'm just playing the troll right now, man.
Gotcha. But yeah, I wanna have some conversations, some workout sessions with Jalen Berger. Kind of just chat with him, and really, honestly, want to watch some tape with him, and I want for him to tell me what he's looking at. I don't want to step on obviously John Settle, who's the running back coach's toes. I have a lot of faith in him. We all have a lot of faith in him. But once a Badger, always a Badger. And not to toot my own horn, but I did some great things. For the Wisconsin Badgers, and I want to pass down that torch of some of the skills that I learned, how I learned them, and how I use them. So,
Well,
Jalen, if you're
all
tuning
I'm
into
gonna
this,
say,
hit me up.
all I'm gonna
Let's do
say
this.
is, we'd better start hitting that gym because, you're gonna roll up and you'd be like, dude, why am I gonna listen to you?
I'm gonna roll me and be like, who is that? I'm like, bro, it's me, Monte.
You'd
Like,
be like,
nah,
what
no,
are you, a left tackle,
right.
a right guard? You just fall down and take up space.
Ah, man, I hate myself, man. I hate myself. But
All
nah,
right,
I'm gonna
I'm
drop this
done.
weight quick and I'll be ready to go. No, you're
Let's
good.
go. I
I
need
all
to
good.
too. So, all
But
right.
yeah, check that tweet out. I'm ready to go, Jalen. Whenever you're ready to go. Any other backs? Julius Davis, I know you're there too. Let's get it. Let's get it.
So, Instagram, we're gonna have a bigger presence there. Facebook is gonna basically be tied to Instagram. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Facebook, but hit us up. That's a good place to hit us up and talk to us. I try to get on there 2 3 times a week. Um, hit us up on Twitter, UntapK. I'm pretty active on Twitter, so I try to take a look. We'll get back to you right away. Mons is going to be streaming on twitch.tv/UntapKeg. We're watching this right now. Um, what's your schedule going to be, Mons, to start?
Yeah, Monday. Yep, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 6 to 8 p.m. Just a little, obviously from everybody getting off work. Same here, and hop on real quick just for a quick 2 hours. Obviously, if time permits, I'll be able, or my schedule permits, I'll be able to adjust the hours, maybe extend them into maybe 10 p.m., etc. But we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot. I don't want to, fill my plate up too full. We're doing this, of course, streaming. We may just go back to some audio podcasts. Who knows? But The fun part about streaming video games is I don't care if you're 7, I don't care if you're 8. I know all you young kids just got new video games for Christmas. Hop online. I'm coming. I'm coming for you. I'm talking trash. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's all fun and games, of course. No terrible trash talking, but the competitiveness does not
Can't
ease up
touch
if you're
me.
7. I'm putting up 80 points on you in Madden if I need to. I don't care if you're 6. I don't care.
Oh my goodness. All right. Where can they find you, Mons? Besides
You
on
guys,
Twitch.
right? You guys can find me on Twitter at MonteBall28, Instagram Monteball, Facebook Monteball. Obviously, our Untapped Cake pages. Shoot me a message, topics, whatever. We're gonna start doing some more polls, or doing polls, just to see what you guys want to hear, see what you guys want to chat about, bring some people on, etc. RJ, where can they find you?
You can find me at It's Trickster on Twitter, ITZ, the I is a one in Trickster. Also, hit up our Discord channel, hit up our Reddit, both on TapKeg. We're in there too, trying to, especially during streaming. Hit us up if you want to. So that's where we'll be. If those are going to kind of be the scheduled times of stream. There might be some times where we stream other as well. Those aren't going to be scheduled. They'll be like tweeted out before they happen. Or just, hit subscribe on Twitch,
Right.
hit the alerts. Every time we go live, you'll get an alert. That's probably the best way to do it. So please hit us up. Subscribe to us on iTunes, your podcast service of choice, Spotify, Stitcher, where have you. Leave us a review, please, 5 stars. Uh, Let us
Yeah,
know how we're
especially
doing. Let us know what you want to hear. Yeah, give us a share.
absolutely, absolutely. I just want to chime in real quick. Yeah, so for the streaming, yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the weekends, of course, because it's the weekend. So there, I may be sprinkling some hours in on the weekend, but again, just like RJ stated, I'll tweet it out. I'll
Sprinkling
tweet it
some
out.
hours.
I'll tweet it out prior to hopping on. But as always, you guys, thank you for listening.
Yeah, let's try to be better tomorrow than we were today, because at least if we fail, we tried. Also, let's try to make it a better year too, and I'll try to have less errors in my typing. So we'll go that route. Everybody
I'll try to look less tired.
have a great week, everybody. We love you.